Hi, how are you? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is going to be a different kind of video. Um, Definitely an on-the-fly video that I just kind of thought of doing. But essentially, I'm going to record myself folding my laundry while I kind of just talk. I just watched a YouTube video about a seasoned filmmaker giving advice to Gen Z filmmakers and everything. And it was actually pretty insightful. As a Gen Z filmmaker who is in college doing film school, it was definitely insightful. Some of it I've heard before, but some of it was really valuable. You know, that has me thinking, as a filmmaker myself, I want my projects to move people, to make them think, you know, like rather it be a show or movie. I want my projects to be everlasting in the sense that they really have a lasting impact on people. And I know that's not easy to do, and it'll be a bit of a journey getting there, but I guess as I've been getting through each year of college, I've been learning more and more that the art of filmmaking, or really the art of being a storyteller, is really just living life, you know? Yeah, technically, in a technical aspect, making a film or TV show is, very strenuous. But it's also part of, again, just living life and being able to know how to connect to people, how to relate to people. And especially in today's day and age, given our current administration, I feel like that's something that's needed now more than ever. And I'm sure, every generation that goes by, there's a filmmaker who has said those exact same words. But, as they say, history repeats itself. But, yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing where my journey as a filmmaker takes me. I'm really looking forward to all the different people I'll meet and work with, as well as all the different places I'll go and film at. It's, I guess, kind of an overwhelming feeling, but more than anything, it really just feels like excitement, And I'm grateful to be here to be doing this, because truth be told, I almost didn't even make it this far. I don't know if I've said it or like posted it in a video already, but something to know about me is that about 3 to 3.5 years ago, I was very suicidal at the time. It wasn't the first time in my life that I was suicidal, but it was the first time in my life that I acted on my suicidal thoughts. And I even attempted suicide approximately 3 different times, give or take. I won't really go into detail as far as how I went about attempting it. But, after getting admitted to like psych ward 2 different occasions within like the same 6 months or so, it really changed me. It not only made me have to sit and think about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but it also just made me grateful for life itself. You know, to be able to breathe, to be able to see, to be able to taste, hear. It's a lot of stuff that the average person takes for granted. And for me, that dark time in my life really was transformative, as dark as it was. And I'm grateful every day that I was able to get through it and to look at where I'm at now, you know, being in college, studying film and everything, compared to where I was, is genuinely night and day. And, you know, especially as, I guess, a black man, I really, I really like to preach mental health because, you know, if overlooked, it can really just go under the radar or really go undetected. And, you know, before you know it, an individual has successfully committed suicide. And I bring all that up to say that just be more kind to people, especially to people around your age who you may see on a regular basis. You know, just make the point to be kind to people and to, you know, not really be quick to judge. As easy as it can be to, you know, judge somebody, a lot of the times we don't have the full picture. And, you know, you never really know what a person is going through. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is true. It's, you know, it's not easy. As somebody who was suicidal at one point and has gotten through it, you know, I really do hold a lot of empathy for um, those who struggle with it, because it's really not easy. And really thinking back on it, almost a year ago actually, there was a childhood friend of mine who actually was successful in committing suicide. And I wasn't necessarily close to her, but she was essentially my sister's best friend, especially childhood best friend. So I would see her a lot and interact with her a lot. You know, again, we went to school together, so it's not like, you know, I didn't not interact with her, but she was definitely more so my twin sister's friend than my friend. But again, as somebody who has gotten themselves through that, you know, that void, I just wish I had the opportunity to try and talk with her. You know, try to gauge where her head was at and, you know, try to talk her off the ledge. But unfortunately, that isn't what transpired. So, again, I say all that to say, just be kind to people, you know? And check up on your friends. Like, even if you've just seen them the other day or something, and, you know, they seemed fine or sounded fine, you know, just really get in the habit of checking in with your friends' mental health. Because, especially if nobody asks you, often than not, you can be prone to not disclosing, sensitive information like that, or even like opening up about what may be bothering you or what you're struggling with. Life, life really isn't easy. You know, everybody knows that. Most people, anyway, most adults after a certain age. But I just, I really want to transform the world with my projects. Or again, rather it be a show or movie, I really want to have a lasting, everlasting impact on people in society. May sound ambitious to some, but to me, it just feels right, you know? It sounds right when I say it. As I've gotten older, especially, I've learned that when it comes to really chasing your dreams and trying to accomplish your goals, you can't really have a plan B in the sense that, you have something to fall back on in case things don't go right. Because by making a plan B, you're essentially subconsciously telling yourself or subconsciously preparing yourself to fail, which is very counterproductive. And so, for me, after a certain point, I just kind of, with the summer semester halfway through and fall semester relatively around the corner, I am actually thoroughly excited about the upcoming school year. With fall semester being the start of my junior year of college, you know, it's it's a little surreal being at the halfway point, but as surreal as it is and a little nerve-wracking, I guess, I'm excited. And I contribute most of that to having a clear goal, at least for the upcoming school year. And I have something that I'm building, you know? It's really hard to describe that feeling of really like building something from the ground up. It's a different kind of motivation, especially when you're the one who like has the idea and you're spearheading the progress, the process. It's something I encourage you all to try and seek out, Whether you're building something for yourself, building something for a group or a collective, or even just for your family. It's really something powerful about it. And if you ask me, it's the kind of stuff we need more of. People really taking the initiative to create the world they want to see instead of just sitting around pointing out flaws in current systems and then just kind of like throwing your hands up, waiting and expecting somebody to come and help you out. When you gotta really do it yourself. Again, especially if you have enough drive and motivation to point out issues, then do something about it, That's all I can really say. Because if you don't do anything about it, who's to say anybody else ever will? It's not easy, and I feel like the best things in life aren't easy. But if you ask me, it's worth it. It's always worth it, especially if you're, again, creating something for more than just yourself, you know? When you get to do something that really benefits others, it's something powerful about it. And you really can't get that just kind of living through life day by day, same old, 9 to 5, this, that, and the third, you know? And obviously, not everybody is as ambitious as, like, you know, the most ambitious person you can think of. But I don't think society works if everybody's ambitious. I feel like you need those select few who are ambitious enough to get people on board. And then it's really when everybody else comes together to make it come to life, where you really see the power in building something. I don't know if I'm making a whole lot of sense, but it's something that means a lot to me, you know? And as you continue to watch me on this channel, seeing where my journey takes me, I really hope that you, whoever is watching, can not only hear my words, but feel them on a deep level, and that they resonate in you enough to motivate you in whichever way that looks. But with that all being said, I've just about finished folding my clothes, and I'm gonna go and put them away into my drawers now. But that feels like a good ending point, and I need to shower and kind of unwind. So if you haven't already, like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. And I will see you all later. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.